Good, my quick crypto family and my coin factory family. We're back again with another daily Casper crypto live stream, and boy oh boy are the markets looking very good today. Bitcoin surpassed the tough level of resistance at 96k and has also surpassed 97k earlier today. Will it continue? We'll have to wait and see. I am still waiting for confirmation. We've got to probably wait for another 2 days or so before we get confirmation of that. If we do, there's a good possibility Bitcoin will start making that push towards 100k once again, and then towards its all-time high levels of $109,000. Would be very good to see. Ultimately, it's a good day for Bitcoin, good day for crypto. Tomorrow will also be a very interesting day with the job report data coming out, the unemployment data coming out as well. So things are looking up right now, and even Casper is doing very well. Hopefully this is confirmation that this here was the reversal and bottom, therefore Casper is going to start making this push up again towards the next level of resistance, which for me the big one is again going to be at 11 cents. If we surpass 11 cents here, when we start rallying back up again, that for me will be confirmation we're now in a bullish trend, and Casper going to start rallying up in value, which is really good to see. Of course, we'll get to all of that in this stream today as well. If you enjoy this content, as always, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. And for those who are devoted members, OGs of this community, just as a forewarning, because I did say I would do it, Mr. Miles has escaped the basement. The boys are currently out looking for him. He's going to probably be gone for about a week or so, which is a shame, but hopefully he enjoys a little bit of freedom before he gets back to doing and running my streams. With that being said, welcome everyone to the stream once again. Kryptoni brother first, welcome back my man, and you too, Nessie bro. Nice candle today, nice candles indeed. Things are looking very green all around, and as the title states, this cycle will be more explosive than you realize. And truth be told, the sources that I have been showcasing my executives in the VIP group, and equally I'm going to share one of them again today with you lot, is just once more proof of the significant shift we're going to see coming through very soon, and in my opinion how Casper is going to tap into that market as well. There's definitely going to be a select few that do not make it, or a select few that do make it and many that don't make it as much, and then we'll see a cannibalization of crypto. For me, Casper is one that is going to surpass expectations. Binance also seemingly have hinted again that they're going to be listing Casper soon. All of that as always in this stream today. If you enjoy, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. So our first source here is going to get into this post here. It's an XRP post, but the premise here is just highlighting once more of Eric Trump, who stated live at the token 2049 in Dubai, the SWIFT system is broken and it's going to be replaced by cryptocurrency. That's something that we've been talking about on and off, but consistently on this channel anyways. It's quite evident that Swift is incumbent, slow, expensive, faulty, and blockchain with crypto is going to take over the financial system. That's coming to fruition right now as we speak, is taking place this cycle and snowballing for the years to follow as well. Now I highlight this purely because Casper are also, or Casper team members or people who are in relation to Casper are attending also the token 2049 event as well in Dubai. The CSO from Igor Labs, Maya, is also on site as well, which is reassuring to see, talking of course about Igor Labs ZK based rollups using Casper's block DAG and much more as well. We can see this picture here between Tangem alongside Casper as well, because we know Tangem and Casper work very closely together as well. And as Christian Lubbock highlights here, which I made a video on not too long ago as well, in due time, you'll see the likes of Visa also running on Casper as well. The feeling that when Casper, Tangent, Visa allow tapping RFID on any merchant processor to pay for anything in Casper, stables on Casper, it is, for me, an inevitable future. What Casper's building is so innovative, so game-changing. It won't happen immediately, it'll take time, but you'll see Visa adopt many different payment rails, I'm sure. They might even be choosing XRP right now. But for me, you're going to start seeing many, if not all, institutions and TradFi companies switch to the cheap, potentially cheaper, more efficient, while being more secure, decentralized infrastructure of Casper. And Casper therefore will become the new form of just natural money. And this post here from Hoover kind of gets into my thought process for the cycle. I've watched the, Casper Endgame from Plan K. I watched his Power Law video as well. Like, his content is very, very informative and good, reassuring content as well. So, of course, I have utmost respect for him. But this post here from Hoover, despite my belief in Casper still being very, very strong, this post is ultimately my stance as well in the cycle. This is, without a doubt, the hardest hold we've ever seen for Caspians. Not because we're unsure or where Casper's going to go, not by that call, it's because we are holding a superior model in our hands. We know Casper's going to be game-changing deep down. However, we're not holding a coin. We are holding a revolution in motion. You're going to see many of the TradFi companies. In fact, we're seeing it proof time and time again. XRP is the leader of this cycle. You may not like XRP, and that's perfectly fine. I don't expect you to. I don't really care if you do either. That's not your or my burden to bear. But we have seen continuous posts, and in fact, yesterday I saw a post where the US Department of Treasury released a document talking about stablecoins, and in that document it highlighted USDC Circle, USDT Tether, and equally Ripple's RLUSD, which that is insane. That is insane, purely because RLUSD has only been out since December 2024, for about 4 to 5 months. And they're already getting recognition on the same pedestal as the likes of Circle and Tether. That is significant news for Ripple in that regard. So my whole premise is there's definitely going to be many TradFi and FIs who are going to be jumping into crypto, and they're going to tapping into probably the likes of Ripple and XRP. Ripple have got a good infrastructure for onboarding institutions. That much I can acknowledge. They have a recent acquisition of Hidden Road. They tried to acquire Circle yesterday, which is insane. But they recently acquired Hidden Road, which is a prime brokerage, one of the most renowned ones for the TradFi space. So they have got a lot of influence. Be that as it may, that's why I hold a little bit of XRP, but be that as it may, the reason why I hold more Casper is because I understand the conviction in Casper. What they are building is a revolution in motion. Therefore, it may take longer and harder for Casper to significantly pump and get the adoption it needs, because institutions are going to try to ignore it, trying to suppress it. But as we've seen with them trying to do that with the payment space, they tried to suppress crypto under Biden. Look where we're at right now. They're going to try to do the same to Casper. They won't be able to do it. They won't. They simply won't be able to do it. We remain in the shadows because institutions that rule this space, the silent giants, know what Casper is, and that's proven by the fact that Marathon mined Casper. So evidently Wall Street and those institutions know what Casper is. They know that once it breaks into the light, it won't just compete, it will dominate. It settles the status quo. It strips away the control they've had over the narrative, the capital, and the access. This is why, again, I hold assets like SUI. I hold assets like XRP, not because I necessarily trust them, because I know they are inherently risky, they're centralized, but I also know that institutions, what they care more than just money is control. They love having control. Crypto was suppressed because it was deemed that there's no way to control crypto, and now they're accepting it because they know it's better, but also because they think they can find a way to control it. Casper is impossible to control, or near impossible to control. It's a hedge against everything that these big centralized authorities want. But what they don't realize is Casper isn't just technology, it's a movement, and thousands of people across the globe will see what is coming, and they're preparing for it. We here are getting in early. It's an unstoppable force driven by purpose, true purpose, not hype, not FOMO. That's why Casper's price doesn't just pump all willy-nilly from, some big announcements. 10 BPS are very big announcements, but Casper is no longer really in that bracket of FOMO driven anymore. I mean, frankly, this market as a whole, I don't think it's a FOMO driven market anymore either. I think for the most part, we're going away from FOMO driven to fundamentals and utility. We're not in a meme coin cycle anymore where memes can get an exchange listing, or they get a celebrity talking about the project and it jumps 10x in value. It's not the same anymore. Ripple's had some very big announcements and they don't pump like ridiculously crazy. SUI and C and these other projects have very, very big announcements, and they've pumped very well, of course, on the back of that, but they've not, done 25x's like we used to see back in the day. The amount of gains we see are lesser, but we're still early enough to see a lot more coming through soon as well. The adoption for Casper will come, the recognition will come, and when it does, it will be too late for those who've ignored it. The world may not be ready for Casper, but Casper is ready for the world. That is where we're at right now. That is why I believe in Casper. And all the signs right now point towards this cycle being more explosive than we realize. Casper attending 2049 token in Dubai, token 2049 in Dubai. It's going to get more recognition that way as well. And we'll see a lot more coming to that in that regard. And this is one of the documents that I also have already showcased to my executives. And this one again is once more proof from institutional sentiment that this cycle could potentially and likely be more explosive than we realize. This document here comes from IBM, Institute of Business Value, Research Insight here. This is already on my Twitter page. You can follow me on Twitter here. Link down in the description, also homepage here as well. And you'll see some of these documents. I might start occasionally. Of course, I'm not going to publish all of them because there's a benefit, again, to being a part of the VIP group, get extra insights as well. But I'll start publishing occasionally some of those as well. And as a highlight here from the document, many don't realize how explosive this crypto bull run may be or will be. It highlights here over 60% of banking CEOs say they must accept significant risk to harness automation advantages and enhance competitiveness, and that's taking place this year as well. This means they need to accept the risks of adopting blockchain and AI protocols. The TLDR of this insight, because it's quite an extensive research paper that we went into through our weekly live streams as well, is the banks have been dealing with the fallout from the 2008 financial crash. They are still dealing with the fallout. It was such a significant event that even now, going on 17 years later, they're still dealing with the fallout. It has been tough for them to make good money and resulted in, therefore, them just squeezing it all out of the middle class. Now, with interest rates jumping around and trade being a bit tense, majority of banks are struggling much more. So basically, banks that can change will do great, and those that can't will struggle even more. The sooner they change, the better. Again, this is what Eric Trump's highlighting here. This is what institutions are targeting and talking about the whole time, that they need to see change. The big thing that's changing everything right now seems to be AI. It's not just a talking point anymore. It's becoming a core part of how banks work. A lot of our documents in there are AI based, but there are many more also covering the financial sectors, the crypto sectors, the yield sector. Again, this institutional insight, what they're looking at right now. That's helping us devise our trading strategies and knowing what to look out for as well. The highlight in the document from IBM, AI can help them run things better, come up with new ways of doing business, and hopefully make more money while staying on the right side of the rules. Banks that really make AI work will be the ones who have invested in the right tech, have good digital systems, so crypto tech, and are serious about managing the risks that come with AI. And then I made this a little additive thing here where I highlight this actually could be something that Casper could utilize very, very well. While still very early doors, Casper is the most promising up-and-coming crypto digital system infrastructure coming out as we know it. It's a true decentralized financial system, true DeFi, not claimed DeFi, true, because it's fair launch proof of work. And it will end up seeing worldwide adoption, especially from these banking institutions that can't afford to ignore it in the future. Decentralized nature, security, and speed will be impossible to ignore. And Son Polinsky has already mentioned in the past as well that in due time, there will be a time soon for AI agents to start utilizing Casper and its unique properties. I linked it here as well. And then you can't forget as well about the KRI, and there'll be a key gateway for institutional adoption for Casper as well, with projects like Warp Core for cross-border payments, ZTX for the energy trading market, and the Gigawatt for the stablecoin market. And there are many, many more projects as well. So this IBM report gives ultimately a good look on what's happening and how banks can make the smart moves now to succeed in the fast-changing world. For people, for us, for the people in charge of the banks even, it's a wake-up call to really figure this AI stuff out, because the choices they make now will decide who comes out on top in the future. AI is probably the most talked about sector in the institutional documents, but crypto and AI go hand in hand, and they are as bullish as crypto, if not arguably as more so bullish, because they can see the shift that's happening with, the TradFi sector, Swift being incumbent. They need to switch to crypto. They're waiting for regulatory clarity, and that's coming out July, August time, hopefully. That will be a significant market rally, a market top indicator, if you will, and we'll see a massive blow off top from that as well. If you want to learn more about this sort of stuff, again, we've got a lot more institutional insight available in the WAP VIP group. Institutional insight alongside many other things like trading alerts, also educational videos, weekly live streams, and much more. Link down below in the description, also on my homepage here as well. But that for me is, again, just trying to highlight a bit more of the institutional insight and what we should be paying attention to, what should we be looking out for, what's coming to the space. The markets right now are looking up. Of course, bears are still very much bears are being suppressed now. Their voices are being drowned out, but they're still very much prevalent, especially in Casper. People are still being very bearish on Casper. And while I understand why, those have got very burnt out, we're in a Bitcoin dominant market. We're early in May. We just started May today. Happy May, everybody. We only just started May. We are 4 days away from May the 5th. We've got some very big milestones coming up. We are still very, very early. Casper had a very, very long, distribution fade pullback, if you will. But for me, this is not confirmation that, for me right now, we are still so incredibly early. Of course, we've got to expect pullbacks in any market. It's not always going to be green candles. That is unrealistic. If that's your outlook on the markets, change your outlook. It's not realistic at all. We are going to expect some pullbacks, but for the most part, I'm optimistic that May will be bullish for Casper. How much more bullish, I can't say for sure. If it follows the M2 supply, it has it around 18 cents up here. If we draw up the M2 right now, we can see the M2 suggests that if we do get the M2 following right now, it will be around 18 cents, give or take, by May. So again, so we could see Casper rally up that high potentially. Again, we'll have to wait and see. It's not 100% accurate, but it is a decent indicator. But May is going to be a very, very big time based on what's coming out with 10 BPS and also the other catalyst from Casplex's team that's following very soon as well. Banks are getting more and more involved. They're anxious and eager to get into crypto. They want it badly. They want stable coins. They want stable coins really, really badly. I'm actually seeing some more macro news in that regard developing in that sector as well. Bitcoin back with a vengeance. Strong ETF inflows fueled a rebound, pushing it near 95k. And in fact, it went above that. Now, could we see 100k Bitcoin? There's potential for that, but if I'm being honest, I think personally that we'll probably see Bitcoin go close to 100k. And then maybe see it as a maybe fake out, and then Bitcoin come back down again to here, to 96k again. I'm expecting Bitcoin to probably go up and come down again, personally. Again, not financial advice, I have to wait and see where it goes from here. But I do believe we're now on the cusp of seeing Bitcoin trying to make that push again towards its all-time highs, and then go into the next leg, potentially final leg of the rally as well. Casper will follow along in suit, and then when the altcoin dominance rallies against Bitcoin's dominance, then Casper will start going parabolic with the chosen few assets as well. Between their fundamentals, what they're building, and the community is going to grow more and more as well. The potential multiplier we can see from here for Casper could be absolutely insane. Adoption is going up higher as well. Visa launches crypto stablecoin payments in Latin America. Very bullish. $7.13 trillion asset manager Charles Schwab to launch spot crypto trading within the next year. Also very bullish. So that also is a potential indicator, therefore, playing into the argument that's being made from the likes of Bitwise that the 4-year cycle of Bitcoin is over. Because we're seeing a lot of institutions aiming to launch crypto trading services seemingly in the next year, but starting from now, which therefore means it could come out in early 2026 or first half of 2026, therefore meaning you see the Bitcoin top in Q4, you see a pullback, but then if a lot of institutions start launching crypto services going into the first quarter of 2026, they might therefore stem the bleeding. It might cause a more gradual pullback, or even then start causing the market to stabilize. We'll have to wait and see again, play it by ear, play reaction to the markets. The $1.3 trillion asset manager Morgan Stanley to offer crypto trading to E-Trade clients. Also very bullish as well. 14 politicians now support Senator Lummis' bill to acquire 1 million Bitcoin, which is very, very bullish. And then in a bit of a moon boy sense here, Bitcoin Policy Institute head of policy says if legislation to buy 1 million Bitcoin is enacted, which again we're getting kind of close now, the Bitcoin price is going to go insane. Probably Bitcoin is going to $1 million. Now for me, it is inevitable, or I like to believe it's inevitable that Bitcoin will one day reach $1 million this cycle. No. If it happens this cycle, then we are literally about to become gazillionaires. Like, if Bitcoin reaches $1 million, alts will go absolutely mental. Alts will go absolutely parabolic if Bitcoin reaches that this cycle. There's no way in my mind this reaches this cycle. But in the future to be 1 million Bitcoin, I think that's a possibility. How long? Don't know. Who can say for sure? But I do believe it's coming as a matter of time. And again, with what Casper is and what they're bringing as the medium of exchange, the peer-to-peer element of Bitcoin, what Bitcoin was meant to be, Casper can do better in that regard for adoption going forward as well. Which I'll get into the Casper updates in just a moment on top of this stuff as well. But I'm going to answer some questions really quickly first off to kind of set the tone for what's coming up very soon as well. Welcome back once again though, Buffalo 3 bro, hey yo to you too, Shay, yo brother as well. And there you are all back. Are you talking about the Binance join videos? Yes, I am referring to that. Once more, probably just a bit of hopium, but someone did say another, coincidental leak, if you will. And it is kind of, is quite a weird coincidence, but for me, it's just a coincidence, but it's the title, right? And either way, we also could talk about this Wallet 2 again. Wallet 2 being the speculative Binance wallet. Earlier today, scooped up 11.5 million more capital, which is a lot. It was going through a sort of a lull phase recently, early buying, 1.5, 2 million, 1.5, like for them, relatively lackluster amounts of capital being bought. And then earlier today, they bought 11.5 million more Casper, which is equivalent to $1 million worth. Once more, no surprise coming from Gate. Now, we don't know the wallet, of course. We speculate it's Binance's. But seeing such a massive amount of Casper bought, with the crescendo hard fork being just 4 days away, could be a sign once again. People are now speculating again that we're going to see a listing around the activation from Binance. I'm still skeptical about it. I kind of don't focus too much on Binance about today's Casper. I talk about it as, needing to cover the news and of course it making a good title. But for me, Binance are going to list a cycle. It's not a matter of if, a matter of when, but there's no point trying to predict when it's going to happen because Binance will list when they choose to. They won't do a, or Casper listing in, we're going to list Casper like next month type thing. They'll announce it and give like a 2-day warning, if that. They'll announce we're listing Casper and that'll be it. And then that'll generate so much FOMO, the price will rally up much higher as well. We're seeing that wallet at least scoop up more Casper, which is really, really good. And in that regard, I'll quickly show the video as well here. So yeah, Wallet 2 and Wallet 7 actually accumulating a lot more Casper, which we can see here. Wallet 7 here. Well, it's not come through today. It must have happened yesterday then. Yeah, it scooped up 7 million yesterday. 7.8 million Casper, which is very, very sizable once again. So highlights here, yep. Heavily accumulating Casper right before the crescendo hard fork with over 90 million Casper combined. Could these stealthy giants be exchanged preparing for a major listing? Something is brewing. Keep your eyes open. Again, these big wallets for me, we can actually check to see where the Wallet 7 transactions are coming from. Wallet 7 are getting it from these other wallets here. Don't see a known exchange wallet being highlighted here from where they're coming from. So it's tough to actually determine where they're getting it from, but they have got a lot of Casper, a hell of a lot of Casper in fact. And with so much Casper, the assumptions be made if it's not normally a humpback, that's just a single person. It could be, but likelihood is going to be an exchange that's accumulating more and more. It's got over a quarter of a billion Casper now. Wallet 7, so maybe that's going to be OKX or even Coinbase stacking. We can speculate again, we have to wait and see. There's still many exchanges that haven't got Casper yet. You've got Crypto.com, Robinhood, Gemini, there's many more still that have not listed Casper. So we'll have to wait and see what's happening. But again, we're getting more listings, very, very good to see. Something big does seem to be brewing right now. Maybe crescendo half could be a catalyst for that. I'm a bit skeptical about it, but we'll have to wait and see. And then we get this post here, Cas Media reposted here as well, where you got Kendall highlights here. This is too crazy to think that Binance is once again hinting at Casper in this latest video. Again, this could just be speculative, and probably is just speculative here, but you can see, these drones here, random structure, you could argue looks very much like a crescendo structure. Looks very much like the block DAG structure of Casper, you could argue. It is quite random. So, you know, if that is the case and that's what they're preparing for, then yeah, I mean, that'd be another subtle hint there. But, you know, we can speculate about that, truth be told. Either way, once more, Binance listing Casper is going to happen in my belief. It's just a matter of time. But for me, the other stuff coming to Casper, like this stuff here I'll get into in a moment, is even more bullish for me. Welcome back, LB, bro. Hope you're doing very, very well. Checking in indeed. What's up? And yeah, you already said hello. Justin X Crypto. Let's go, fam. It's Casper one time. Not confirmation just yet. For me, we had a very, very nice sign, potentially of a double bottom here. And now we're seeing Casper break above this higher low here, or lower high here even. And now we're seeing Casper once more get rejected here at 11 cents. Now, if Casper can hold 10 cents, that would be a very, very good thing, because for the longest time, 10 cents proved to be that pivotal level of support for Casper around here. So we can hold that, that'd be fantastic. If not, then we'll have to see where it goes from here. For me, Casper needs to actually break above 11 cents. Now that it's made this peak here, we can see Casper come up here and come back down again, down to here, and then make a push up again. As long as we don't surpass, I'd say, below this zone here. If you go below here, go below worst case 7 cents, then we might still be in a bearish structure. But if we go above, we stay above 7 cents, absolute bottom bed 7 cents, and we start seeing Casper, even now maybe, making, if Bitcoin continues going as way it's going as right now as well, we see Casper start there making the rally, and it's a past 11 cents. That for me, while corrections again are expected, that could be confirmation of a bullish structure breaking out for Casper. And we might therefore see, you know, if I were to get just a ghost feed up, we might therefore see Casper start breaking out something like that, going up to here over the next coming days. And so we'll have to wait and see. Again, we're still very, very early doors. We cannot confirm that by any means right now. But I have no reason to be bearish on Casper for what they're bringing out, and equally for what the price is looking at right now. It's looking more optimistic, which is reassuring. Other assets are doing very, very well right now. You can see Sui up also at 4.65%. Had a very nice 2x rally and is held strong up here, or from its bottom here in April even. Held very, very strong right now. And they've got their Sui base camp happening in Dubai right now, I believe, actually. Which is going to be ending tomorrow as well. So there may be some big announcements there that could also pump Sui's price higher. C is doing better today as well, which is good to see. Having a nice rally from its bottom down here, equally about 70% up. Nice to see as well. Tau up as well, 2x since its bottom in April. You know, it's done very well as well. And these assets, I think, are going to rally up much higher going into May. I think May could potentially be a very, very big time. Tomorrow's job report data will be very important. FOMC meeting on Wednesday will be very important. The inflation data on the 30th of May will be very important. Any tariff news will be very important as well. There's a lot of stuff to look out for in the macro side of things. And then Casper, of course, what they're bringing out also is going to be extremely interesting as well. This post highlights here from XXIM. They released a new episode, a short episode with Casper, who's been one of the more focal points for Casplex and what they're bringing out as well. And they discussed the world of Casplex, you know, a lot of stuff. I listened to the video kind of skimming over it. I plan to watch it in more detail later on, probably tonight or tomorrow. But it covered a lot of very, very important milestones, upcoming milestones like stablecoin opcodes that are literally going to be coming out before Crescendo. So by logic, therefore, stablecoins could be coming out on Crescendo. Now, truth be told, it is highly unlikely you'll see stablecoins coming out on the 5th of May. But the opcodes and the infrastructure for stablecoins will be available by the 5th of May. So therefore you might see stablecoins like Tether, Circle and other ones coming out soon enough as well. Maybe in May, maybe later, or maybe in June. But the actual infrastructure for it will be released on the 5th of May. Crescendo update is very, very cool. They talked about lightweight indexes and the public layer 2 testnet. Other stuff here as well, so I definitely recommend go checking it out. I'll repost this on my Twitter page and equally link this in my free community as well, so you can check out both and follow along and find out what they're talking about. It's a very insightful video, and once we're giving us understanding of what's coming to Casper very soon in the next couple of days and weeks, and of course months to follow as well. This cycle, they don't really address next cycle or, you know, after this cycle, but you know, we can talk about that again later on as well. And as Son Polinsky mentioned a while back as well, and this is also where we're at right now, the vision of 10 BPS is the things becoming internet speed crypto. That's what Casper right now is already the fastest proof of work. And you already got some cryptos out there that are deemed as internet speed cryptos. 10 BPS puts Casper in that same category. And then, a level above because it's still decentralized and secure. Trilemma solving. Less than 5 years away now until we see Casper break into this bracket. And Casper therefore will likely start having some more wandering eyes. Will it get adoption and price pumping? I don't think so. It is not straight off the bat, because 10 BPS is fantastic, but you need to see these smart contracts and stablecoins come on top of it. Very soon again, Casper are doing that almost immediately, but we still need to wait a little bit longer. Once EVMs are launched and stablecoins are on Casper, you'll start seeing it run up a lot higher as well. And you'll start seeing equally these tokens, these memes start doing very well as well. Actually, Wolfie did fantastic recently. Wolfie had a massive rally yesterday or so. And I did talk about Wolfie a while back very briefly. One of my few streams, I actually do hold a little bit of Wolfie. But Wolfie has, done fantastically. He did a massive 5x or something. Went from 300,000 to a 1.5 mil market cap. It's come back a little bit now, which expected. But, Wolfie, of course, I'm based in the UK, based in London. They've got Wolfie's Bar, which is, again, based in London. So just by that principle of that alone, I did decide to scoop some up. But yeah, Wolfie's doing very well. And you'll see many, many more of these memes see some more momentum and demand and price rallying with Casper doing well as well, following these incoming developments. And then, tier 1 listings, all that stuff as well. You'll see a lot more coming to these projects right now. And this is also proof of that. Casper.com, for example, I love Casper.com, by the way. I think Casper.com is actually a very, very good, website, or, a website to, scoop up some KRC20s or NFTs, whatever you want to buy right now. They're currently developing ERC20, so EVM token deployment on Casper's layer 2. So they're already testing that Casper.com, which is really, really cool. So I'm excited to use that. I have used Casper.com and I think they are very, very good. And I'm not sponsored by them. I just do like them. I really do. I do actually like them. Deploy tokens on AR2s, direct to Casper.com. It takes 30 seconds on Ethereum, and Casper, it takes 4 seconds. And I can test to that. I've used Casper.com and I traded KRC20s, and it took literal, not even a second. I didn't realize it. Half a second, if anything. It literally happened instantly. It's a far cry from when I was trying to trade, Casper from when I buy Casper back on the day on L-Bank Exchange and then try and trade it to my Tangent wallet. That took half an hour. I'm not joking. It took half an hour to trade from L-Bank to Tangent. But, then you use Casper.com, use these Casper native websites, and it takes literal seconds. It's insane. And much lower gas fees as well, by the way. That's again why Casper is a head and shoulders above everything else and will be realized soon by the broader public. And furthermore, Casper.com announces Casper First Lending Protocol as well, which is also going to be more adoption coming to Casper.com. Very good for that as well. Lots of Casper locked up from circulating in DeFi incoming likely, so very good to see in that regard. Things are looking up in that regard. And then another point to talk about as well, which I'll get into in a moment before I'm going to answer questions again real quickly. First off, is this post here from the founder, Son Polinsky, which has some issues in the context of the core Casper issues, ultimately talking about the Casper currency Twitter page and kind of just trying to dissect or understand what's happening and what to do here. And I'll make a summary of what he says here in a moment. And ultimately, it's understanding therefore that Casper's kind of shifting their focus a little bit as well, which I think is quite necessary and it will help Casper in the long run as well. I'm curious what is going to happen with Bitcoin as people learn about Casper. I deem as Bitcoin will be adopted by the masses and they're super rich. So those who are, the 1%ers will use Bitcoin as store of value, just adopt Bitcoin. And then Casper will be for everybody. The quote unquote peasants, if you will. And the smart money as well. But Casper will be for everybody. Bitcoin will be the store of value. And they'll also use Casper as well, I'm sure. Because the medium of exchange. But they'll use Bitcoin as a store of value. But it'll be mainly for the wealthy rich. Welcome back, brother. You're doing very, very well. 4 ages. I think it could happen. I think you'll see in 4 ages down the road. Yeah, I think you'll see Bitcoin being adopted by those who got in here, maybe, and then the ultra rich, and then everyone else will be using Casper. We have many financial entities who have put a lot of money in Bitcoin, almost feel like they will ramp the FUD on Casper. Yeah. Again, this is what's highlighted here from Hoover as well. Casper is a revolution. It's a revolution in motion. It's not just a coin. It's literally what Bitcoin is, but a bigger threat because it actually can be used for what it's meant to be. Stateless money. No control over it whatsoever. And the centralization will hate that. They will hate the idea of not having any control. That's why they wanted to have CBDCs out. They want CBDCs to maintain control and have more of it. Stablecoins negate that. Stablecoins provide what CBDCs wanted to provide and negate the risk of centralized control, or somewhat, or more so at least. That's why stablecoins are coming out before CBDCs. CBDCs will probably still come out, but stablecoins are here first at least, thankfully. And then you'll see they're all running through Casper, but it's going to take some time, I'm sure, because the centralized authorities will probably want to try and prevent it from happening, but they won't be able to prevent it. The same way trying to prevent crypto and try to stay on the financial system with SWIFT, they've now accepted they can't stop it. So it'll be the same for Casper, the exact same. Saying that still, they might try to suppress Casper. Casper, for me, is still going to do very well the cycle, and then, going to explode leaps and bounds in the future as well. Like, I still have no doubt in my mind about that. Awesome. Welcome back, Falco Bro. You're doing very, very well. Welcome back to the channel. Dimitar, May 5th all-time high. Well, I mean, who knows? Who knows, honestly? I'm, again, a bit more optimistic about that. I don't think May 5th will be the all-time high. I don't think we'll see Casper jump up to 20 cents by May 5th. Or if you meant it another way, I don't think we'll see Casper top out at May 5th and then just start coming down continually from here. I don't think we'll see that. I think you'll see May 5th be a influential time for Casper, no doubt, historic in the making, but it won't do much in the grand scheme of things of being price action wise. BRP foundation, because what 10 BPS also allows is for KRP15, and KRP15, which comes out with 10 BPS, is what allows layer 2s on Casper. So 10 BPS again is a foundation building block for everything that Casper needs to become a fully fledged DeFi. So it's important, but it's not a price pumper for me. Not saying we won't see price pumping, but don't expect Casper to jump leap and bounds in the next 4 days. It could happen, but I'm skeptical about it. I'm more optimistic we'll see it happen gradually, as we saw, this whole chart here. Wrong one. No, it's not the wrong one. We saw this whole thing here. I suspect we'll probably start seeing like an inverse, maybe a bit more volatile in that regard. Like starting around here or something like a bit more high or something like that. A bit more of an inverse here, I suspect. Start doing something like that potentially. We'll have to wait and see. Good evening, Cash Ching, brother. You're doing very, very well. Welcome back again, my man. Tony said, I don't understand the hype around Bearer Chain. It's like people don't learn their lessons. One, the devs aren't doxed and use pseudo, and they hold a grudge, and they hold a huge allocation over the holder's head. I have not heard of Bearer Chain. Maybe I'm just misinformed. Bearer Chain, $450 million market cap, which is quite sizable, truth be told. Another, okay, well that in of itself has already made me not want to get into the project. Infinite max supply. Have we not just seen Terra Luna and Mantra go to effectively zero? Both of them have max supply, infinite. So that already worries me. This came out seemingly just a few days ago, or just last month or 2 months ago or something like that. Very recent. It's got Binance Kaspa, so it's got a lot of adoption, of course. So it's good in that regard. It's good in that regard. A POL mechanism fundamentally changes how layer 1 economics are structured by creating an efficient marketplace. But just a lot of very big words to make it sound like it's very important. I'm not directly trying to FUD it, I guess. I am. You know what? Actually, I am. If it does well, so be it. But I am, at this point, quite confident in saying that anything that has a literal infinite max supply here, I'm not going to touch. After seeing Luna and after seeing Mantra, not even like a month ago, go through a massive rug pull, whether intentionally or not, it went through a rug pull. Both of those two had infinite max supplies. These are literally no different than the money we have right now. And that system is broken. Eric Trump literally confirms that system is broken. So I would not be touching Bearer Chain personally. It might do other cycle, who knows? I don't know who's behind the project. But I mean, yeah, that's ridiculous for me. And even then, it's actually down 10% since its launch. So it's done terribly since its launch. That's terrible. And it'll probably keep going down as well. Or maybe it'll do what? Again, I don't know. I can't say for sure, but I wouldn't touch this project personally. So I don't understand why people are hyping around it either. This first I've heard of it, but just the base layer of looking at this alone, I'm already bearish on it. Good listings, sure. Good listings, but... And decent market cap, sure, but... Max supply, it being infinite, and it being down 70% in the past, what? I mean, it launched at a bad time, you know, when the market was dumping, to be fair. It launched when the market was dumping in February. So it was an unfortunate time to launch, but it only started dumping end of March going into April. So it only dumped in the last, you know, month. It did okay throughout the whole bad correction, and then started dumping in the last month. So actually, no, I don't give it credit in that regard either. So yeah, I wouldn't touch Bearer Chain. That's the first I've heard of it, but good for pointing that out. If you like Bearer Chain, if you want to hold it, I mean, again, I'm not telling you what to do. Do as you wish. Do your own research, trade your own discretion, but I wouldn't touch that. Again, that alone would steer me away from the project. Mantra, Terra Luna, 2 big collapses, 2 big assets, both had infinite max supplies, never to 0 as well. Honestly, just sounds like people don't research before buying. Is how it's a big deal in this space even now. Well, yeah, I mean, that's precisely what this whole community is about here. This whole community about here, while predominantly about Casper, is ultimately about trying to research more about crypto. The VIPs, you know, those who are part of it, they learn even more in-depth insight, even more research. Research is one of the hardest things to do. I don't like researching, but I'm good at it because I learned the importance of it in the last cycle, mistakes from the last cycle. So I know how to find information and share it with people here. And then I learn even more in-depth insights, the bigger information that I share to the VIPs here as well. But research is fundamentally a massive issue that people just struggle with. They follow the blind. It's a blind following the blind. They'll follow where the smart money goes. And it works 9 times out of 10 because you should follow smart money. But sometimes doing your own research has own benefits. Actually understand what's happening. That's why when I preach and make my videos and my content continues every single day, I always say do your own research. I know it sounds like a cop-out, but I'm not your babysitter. You should do your own research and devise your own strategy. That's also why I start talking about price action in projects, particularly Casper, because it's a toxic mindset and it makes you need to be able to devise your own strategy yourself. What you should be doing to try and devise these sort of things is looking at a project, think about its potential, think about what it's trying to offer, and then compare it with similar narratives. So Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Sui, all the projects aren't proof of, well, Bitcoin's proof of work, but all the projects aren't proof of works, but they had a similar sort of, not Sui. Phone went, gosh, I can't believe my phone. I need to turn my phone off when I do this stuff, honestly. That's ruined my chain of thought. But yeah, they're all similar, like layer ones, you know, effectively. And Casper, in that regard, has the same bracket. It's not the same project. It's unique in that regard. It's better, but it's the same narrative. So you compare it to those projects, and you can then understand, you know, think about what percentage of the market cap can Casper attain in comparison to Bitcoin, and make those comparisons. But, you know, don't blindly follow people. And yeah, that for me is, I wouldn't touch the 10-foot pole, 15-foot pole. I wouldn't touch that as the last thing on earth. I'm being optimistic about no major pump before Monday, or the had it last week, but if by we upgrade, we rock it. I mean, I would love to be optimistic about us rocketing in value over the next few days leading up to 10 BPS, but I'm just, again, nothing wrong with optimism. There's 4, you know, mentalities, if you will. There's, you know, bullish, which could be, well, it's 5, I guess. 5 or 6. You got moon boys, you got bullish, you got optimistic, you got conservative, you got bearish, and you got just doomers, whatever. Paper handers. Now, for me, I try to remain on the side of skepticism and optimism, because I don't want to be too much of anything. And it's also a safer way to do that. Again, I mean, you can't ever be physically not emotional, but if your emotions are, you know, kept more neutral, then it's fine. Now, it's not that we're being optimistic. Try to make sure you balance optimism with not being too bullish. And again, I think it's good to be optimistic. And I think even now, it's not a bad thing to be optimistic right now. The market seems to be in an uptrend. You know, if Bitcoin can continue to hold this level by the end of the day and then equally above here for the next 2 or 3 days, that could be a sign of us going to 100k. You might see Casper therefore rally as well. And if Casper can break above 11 cents, this zone here, if it breaks above this, that would be really bullish. If we don't, we get rejected here again, that could be a problem. It could be a double bottom to another double top, and then you might see it come down a little bit further. And then we'll be kind of in an unsure scenario where we're at. Are we in a still bearish trend? Are we going to a bullish trend? Are we just waiting? We don't know. Long term, bullish. In the immediate short term, it's tough to really determine where we're going to go. It looks bullish, but we have to have the confirmation from me will come when we break above this zone here. Then I'll be like, yeah, we're in a bullish trend. And it might take a few months, but we'll start seeing it go up. And then it'll surpass all-time highs, and then it'll go even quicker with all the regulatory frameworks and the QE and the rate cuts, with the dollar falling off so much as well, also is allowing the M2 to rise higher as well, for other nations printing more money. You know, it is looking good. Within 2 months, I'm sure we will get another tier 1 listings, hinges on smart contracts. I'm also optimistic about that. I am. I think tier 1 listings are all biding their time. We know that this wallet 2 has around an average of here. So if you see Casper surpass that, and therefore net positive in holding Casper, that might be also its catalyst if it's Binance to list the project as well. You'll see tier 1 listings, I'm sure. I mean, no doubt you'll see the cycle. How soon are going to have to wait and see. The longer it takes, though, the better it is for us, because we can buy more cheap. Binance ain't used to spending $50 million on coins to get coins for liquidity. They want to profit big on Casper investment. That's what I've been saying as well. The reason people kept saying why is, Binance is not listing that project, because Casper doesn't pay for listing. Binance and Coinbase and these other big tier 1s, they are used to being given tokens to list a project, and therefore they don't care if it dumps straight off the bat. With Casper, though, they don't give them money. They don't give them tokens. They give them coins. They have to buy it themselves, and therefore the last thing you want to do is list a project and then it goes down again. So you want to list it when it's going to be quote-unquote guaranteed to go up, therefore when the market's bullish. Because if Binance launched right now, it drives a lot of FOMO, no doubt, but when that listing actually happens, it will most likely come down. But if they did it when the market's in a massive uptrend, and Casper had a lot of catalysts coming out for it, you'll likely still see a buy the event, sell the news type thing, but it'll probably be a little less so, because all the big things coming for crypto and Casper will likely stagnate, or will stem the bleeding, and then send it into an even bigger uptrend. It's strategy. How high can Casper go by end of 2025? I don't do price prediction anymore. How high is determined by people. I don't determine that anymore. I don't talk about the price predictions. I think it could do well. That's all I can say. I think it could blow past expectations. Whatever your expectations are, maybe it'll go higher than that. I don't think we'll see 5 cents. Crescendo layer 1.5 and 2 smart contracts, stable coins, tier 1 listing, ecosystem expansion by 5 cents. It would be fun. I mean, yeah, I'd be surprised if we see a 5 cents Casper again. I would like to believe, and seemingly again, structure chart wise, there doesn't to be confirmation double bottom here, an absolute bomb for Casper, therefore. So I'm hopeful, therefore, we are now in this, bullish uptrend now from here. And we'll see it accelerate more so as well. What exchanges do you use? So typically speaking, I used to use LBank. I don't anymore. LBank was good because it had very, very cheap transaction fees. It's still a lot, but compared to other exchanges, it was cheap transaction fees. Now, of course, I would use Kraken. Now that Casper trade, I use Kraken. On the occasion, I might use MEXC, but either way, I'd use the exchange and then I'll instantly transact it into my Tangent wallet for Casper. For exchanges that I trade with, right now, it has been MEXC. And, despite MEXC manipulating Casper, they aren't a bad exchange, I don't like holding anything on exchanges, but if I'm trading, then, you can't have to. But when I hold, like the Casper I'm holding, I've got some Casper in my Tangent, some in my Casper wallets. Stuff that has the KRC20 memes as well. So those are the exchanges I tend to use now. I'd say mainly it's Kraken or MEXC. I do use the occasional Coinbase and Binance for other assets that aren't available on those exchanges right now, or I've gone to them beforehand. You use LBank, but I don't use them anymore. Although that's not saying I won't use them again, but right now I don't use them at least. What's up, John Doe, bro? You're doing very, very well. How's life treating you? Life's doing very, very well, actually. Very well indeed. In fact, in that regard, I'm actually meant to be meeting some people tomorrow. I think it's, kind of business and pleasure type thing, work related, but with some potential business things. So I'm going to be busy at the usual time tomorrow. So tomorrow's stream will be probably a few hours earlier. I'm not sure how much earlier right now. I'll be making an announcement in my public Discord server, so you can check it out then. You'll find out what time I'm going live. But yeah, life's doing good right now. I'm just trying to stay locked in, stay head above water with the markets being how they are. I know I've got a wedding to go to next month. That's going to be a whole other thing as well. So yeah, I'm doing good, brother. I hope you're doing very well as well, man. What's up, Magnus, bro? You're doing very, very well. And you too, DD as well. Welcome back to the channel. You too, Tony, as well. I'm only aware of Bitcoin adoption as assets holding. ETFs are for trading, hedging, no utility. I mean, yeah, for the most part, Bitcoin is kind of being used as holding it. But ETFs can be used for trading elements. Yeah, I mean, that's my understanding as well, or similar understanding, yeah. We are seeing a lot more ETF inflows right now with Bitcoin, which is good. But I'm sure become more like a store of value and Bitcoin will become more stagnant over the years as you get a higher market cap and people just start holding it as opposed to trading it. Bitcoin failed as a coin, yeah, exactly. And Casper has succeeded in that regard. Did he not fail to intrude Casper? Me? Who did it fail to intrude Casper? Maybe I've mistaken. Without doubt, Casper the best. In recent video, I said that the exchanges will not let Casper pump. Casper needs someone with huge effect like Sailor. This will come, but the point is when. If you attend the candle chart, once it pumps, it dumped immediately and twice. Someone has trading potential in futures trading. Feature trading that for sure comes with big exchanges. Dump is so aggressive, and yeah, I do agree that that having an influential figure face like a Sailor would help capital price pump, but at the same time, you'll see people like that try to claim to be the figurehead of Casper. You'll see someone try to do that, like Sailor did with Bitcoin. Bitcoin decentralized, but Sailor became the figurehead of Bitcoin by just claiming it. You'll see someone else do that with Casper, no doubt, but that again is something that I'm not too much worried on that right now, because for me, I'm just kind of coasting with Casper. I see what's coming to Casper. I'm excited to get involved in the ecosystem when it gets fully developed with layer 2s and smart contracts. I'm holding it in cold storage right now, and I'm enjoying my Casper just sitting there. I am, for those who have been asking repeatedly, I am in the process of making a Dono wallet. I said I'm going to release it in the first half of May. I might release it within the next week. So those who want to show support that way, who've been asking for it, it will be there. And I'll put it in the description and on the Discord channel and also on my homepage as well. But yeah, I think going back to your point, Cryptech Odie, yeah, I do think that Casper evidently does have some form of big buyers or big whales that aren't letting it pump. But, there's only so much suppression you can do before it just breaks through it, and Casper will break through it. What they're building will be, for me, impossible to suppress in the future, and that's talking this near future, not distant future in particular as well, but even this near future. Falco, it's $200,000 this cycle. We moon yet? Not yet, Hong, not yet, but hopefully soon. It's not my wedding, thank you very much, but it's not my wedding. But it's a friend's wedding, and I went to the stag do last weekend, and it's a very, very, interesting stag, and I will be going to the actual wedding next month, mid-June. And I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm having more and more of my friends now that are getting married, and I went to a wedding like a year or two ago, I think. No, it was last year. Was it last year or the year before? I don't remember now. No, it was 2 years ago, and that wedding was incredible. One of my mates, and yeah, more getting married. I got like 3 weddings I'm going to this year. All my mates as well. Everyone's just getting married right now. It's crazy. I'm too busy focusing on Trump and crypto. Everyone else is getting married right now. But I'm looking forward to the ceremonies, definitely. Bro, stop using MEXC. Use Uphold if it's available. Uphold. I don't know if Uphold is available in the UK. I mean, again, this is just what I've been using right now. I use MEXC for trading. I haven't been trading a lot recently. The VIPs have been trading, alongside C Crypto, the experienced trader in our group there. MEXC has definitely been suppressing Casper, and therefore we hate MEXC. But for the most part, MEXC is not a terrible exchange. My only qualm for MEXC is the fact that they suppress Casper so much. But otherwise, I haven't had any problems with MEXC. I've used it for quite some time. I haven't had any problems with them so far. So, personally, from a personal perspective, I haven't got a problem with MEXC. Although in saying that, again, I use Kraken more so anyways. And when I'm buying Casper, I'll buy on Kraken. If I'm trading, I use MEXC. So I don't use it for anything else. But I mean, that's not opposed to me saying I won't look for something else as well. Just what my preference is right now. But my preference, honestly, in the future, hopefully, I'll just start using Casper stuff like Casper, these Casper layer 2s coming out to trade as opposed to MEXC. That'd be better for me. I think everyone should start doing that. When people in crypto understand, like we do about Casper, it's over. No more FUD, exchange listings. For me, the SECs are not the strong point. Casper was built without them. Exactly. Once people actually realize what Casper is, these trigger points, these FOMO points won't matter. Casper's just got to keep rallying. What they're building is just, again, changing the game. It's a threat to the whole narrative of what money has been for a long, long time. It's about control. Adoption and recognition is what will make Casper, with the big centralized exchanges, the price will explode. I completely agree more, DD. Completely agree. So frustrating. If Casper even hit $1, it would change my life. Well, there's no saying it won't do that cycle. I'm not saying it will. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. But, right now we're in May. We have potentially 3-4... who actually knows how much longer we have left of the cycle? We have a good few months after the cycle. We're still very, very early. We still haven't got QE rate cuts. Haven't got the regulatory frameworks out in your crypto yet. We covered this document here showcasing how institutions are viewing AI and crypto right now, how much more bullish they are on crypto and AI, and how much they want to adopt it. And there's more institutional insight available in the VIP group as well. You can go check out, again, link down in the description, also on my homepage as well. 7-day free trial, join for free, check it out. For me, this cycle can still go a lot higher. And again, there's potential we go a lot higher in this cycle. Not $1 million type, but there's a potential we go a lot higher this cycle than we expect as well. Where we don't know, but, for me, we're still too early to really, to be worrying about even exit strategies. It's still worth covering, and I'll probably make a video on it at some point soon, but I don't think there's any real reason to talk about exit strategies right now when you don't even know when the top's going to be. If I make a video on that right now, it would be speculating where the top's going to be, but I don't know. I'm better off playing reactionary and then making my predictions based on that as well. My Ultra hit a block this morning. I'm pretty much the president of Casper. Well, there you go. Falca is now the face of Casper. He's going to be one to be the new Michael Saylor. Kraken is good. I have now 0 fees. And they're excluding withdrawal fees. Well, that is fantastic. Again, that's why I like Kraken. Kraken, that is good. L-Bank, was what I used to use before Kraken because it also had cheap fees. But even then, if you just send off it was like a 10 Casper withdrawal fee, which is not a lot in the grand scheme of things. But if you got a small bag, let's just say you already had 100 Casper, you've lost 10% of your Casper. If you've got thousands on there, then it's not that deep. But if you've got only 100 Casper, 10% of your Casper is gone from withdrawal fees. So, it's going to be the case pretty much any exchange you go to. Of course, if you're actually on Casper, native on Casper, then the fees are, less than a little sliver. It's tiny and extremely quick. So, but Kraken, I think is one of the better exchanges out there, and you'll see more adoption in the cycle as well. I just wish that Kraken actually launched a stablecoin pair as opposed to just a USD pair. That'll make it a lot better for Casper as well. Much better. Remember when MEXC refused? Okay. When people MEXC refused to let people pull out their Casper for 3 weeks? Yeah, I do remember that. I do remember that as well. And me personally, again, I've seen the issues with MEXC. It's quite a similar thing with any exchanges. Ultimately, you should not have any of your crypto on exchanges. You shouldn't. I will buy on an exchange and then withdraw quite quickly, if not immediately, onto my Tangent wallet or Casware, my Casper wallet. But I will. I don't try and keep any, unless I'm actively trading. I don't try and keep anything on exchanges because it's just, again, they're there to just take your money. That's all they're there for. So again, if you're just holding as a cold storage element, then you just have a Tangent wallet. If you're trading, I wouldn't put more than you actually need on the exchange, and then just again, that's up to you how you want to trade. It's completely up to you. But I have been using MEXC at least. Again, I'm not saying it's the best exchange out there, but that's what I've been using right now, and it's been okay for me. But that may change. Normally, Casper moves up post FMC meetings. I think Crescendo update plus May 7th meeting could be a big pump for Casper. Potentially. But it does depend also on the announcement of the FMC meeting. I'm hoping it'll be hawkish, based on negative GDP, and you know, especially if tomorrow's job report data ends up being very, very good, then that might incentivize Jerome Powell to be like, okay, we're going to start cutting rates next month. Even maybe tomorrow, even maybe on the 7th. We have to wait and see. But if that's the case, then we'll see Casper likely rally. If not, we have to wait and see. Ultimately, right now, Casper still follows Bitcoin. Everything follows Bitcoin right now, so I have to see what Bitcoin does first. Exec had 0.0042 Casper withdrawal fees before their problems. Yeah, I mean, there'd be loads of exchanges that were decent with Casper at the beginning, and then they just kind of just lost their way, if you will. And ultimately, again, like, where you buy from your Casper from is up to you. For me, LBank's not bad, truth be told. Like, they're not a high tier exchange, they're not bad. The only qualm I have about LBank is that it took like half an hour for my Casper to send from LBank to like my Casper wallet, for example. And you know, even then, that's still worrying, right? It's worrying. It's not that problematic as long as it goes, but it is worrying. But I'm sure, you know, again, if you're buying Casper, I think Kraken's the best place to buy it for. But if you're just trading or doing other stuff, other cryptos, then again, it's up to you what exchange you use. For me, for my Casper, I buy on Kraken, and I'll send it to LBank or not LBank, to you know, my wallets that I hold, my cold storage or my you know, warm wallets that I use. Kraken has like a 3.5 to 5% markup on price, even with trading fees on Uphold. $100 on Uphold gets more Casper. I mean, I'll have a look at Uphold. I'm don't know, is up. I misspelled Uphold because I'm dyslexic. Okay, so it's not. So I could get a hold. I thought Uphold was not available in the UK. UK have so many strict policies and rules that a lot of exchanges have been banned, like Binance and even Mexi. Mexi's actually now banned in the UK, but because I set up an account before it was banned, and I said, okay, KYC, I can still use it, provided I have VPN at least. But I didn't know if Uphold was banned. I mean, I might look at Uphold then. Either way, you know, right now I had a problem with it, so you know, I'm not worried right now about it. But for me right now, I've been waiting for the meantime for the markets and just, you know, biding my time. Welcome back, GoTo bro. You're doing very, very well. Over my dead body. Over my dead Midas Falcon. Okay, well, it looks like Kryptoni's going to be the president of Casper, therefore, the new Michael Saylor. So you've got to fight it out. Lots of people gave up and will sell when the price up a bit. Yeah, I know. There's people who have been in my community for quite some time. I even had someone recently who I thought was a very devoted member of Casper, and he probably still is, but people just got very, very tired of Casper. I've been saying this for literally, if you come back to my stream, even back here, back in the new year, I was saying Casper for me eventually is going to pass all-time highs and do well this cycle. But you'll see a lot of people who are being stubborn, who are frustrated with Casper, will be holding it until they either go up, or some people who bought at the very, very top here, they'll sell either at the very top or they'll sell at a 10% profit, which is up here at 2.3 cents, or 23 cents. So you'll see this be a very strong level of resistance, and equally here, to be very, once it passes 23 cents, I'm hopeful it'll be just quite a smooth sailing upwards, more or less. But a lot of people right now who are holding Casper are holding it just out of stubbornness, because they are down on it and they want to make sure it goes up, and it will go up. But they've lost faith in Casper doing well this cycle, and it's fair enough, completely fair enough. I mean, a lot of projects could do well this cycle. I think SU could do very well from here, XRP could do well from here, C could do well from here, Tau could do well from here. Everything has a very, very strong chance to do very, very well, and equally Casper, if not even more so Casper. But they've lost faith in Casper. You know, they've lost faith in it, and I can't blame them, in a sense. I mean, I've done my research, so my conviction's not wavered in the slightest, and I see what's Casper building, so I'm not worried. But if they sell Casper, fine, I'll buy their bags. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. But if you lost conviction, that's fair enough. Again, it's not my problem. But people will sell. You know, there'll be a lot of strong levels of resistance up here. Here will be a very tough one. People just sell for net neutral or slight profit. But Casper's still going to blow past that. And once you see it break past these levels here, and equally the 35-1 here, where Shy apparently is going to sell the rest of his Casper that he got from Black Dag Labs, you'll see it explode. My personal belief, again, not financial advice. What's your prediction for this bull run? I don't do price prediction anymore, man. From Batoga. I don't do price predictions. I just think it's going to do very, very well. Once milestones come, so will mean come degens. Probably. You'll see a lot more scams coming out as well, so be very, very careful. Very careful. But yeah, I mean, you know, there'll be a lot more coming to Casper in that regard, no doubt. KuCoin is great. Unfortunately, KuCoin is one of those exchanges that is banned in the UK. I have mates who do use it because they got on KuCoin before it was banned in the last cycle. But during the whole bear cycle, a lot of exchanges like KuCoin, like Binance, like Mexi. Actually, Mexi was more recent. Mexi happened in 24. But KuCoin, Binance, you had other ones as well. Names Pionex, names are forgetting me right now. A lot of them like that, they actually ended up getting banned in the UK because UK sucks. I would have used KuCoin otherwise, because my friends say they love KuCoin. I would have used KuCoin, but it banned, unfortunately, so I couldn't get hold of it. Did you do a review on Mr. Simplinsky's tweet? I may have missed it. I have not, actually. I forgot about that. Well, actually, let's get into that real quickly right now. So he made a tweet here, you know, a very, very long post talking about the issues of Casper. Ultimately, talk about the Casper Twitter page, and as Dr. Martin Hyperwork highlights here, a great update from hashtag on Casper. Ultimately, right now, the TLDR of it is Casper is shifting its focus to become a more streamlined platform for developers. You know, with smart contracts coming out right now, it's aiming to minimize the need for extensive Casper-specific knowledge and intermediaries. Because right now, us who know Casper, we have got quite a good knowledge of Casper, but it's also quite technical, which is fine. We love being brainiacs, but you know, what about the other, for the random person who wants to find out what Casper is about? How are you going to understand what Casper is when you're looking at ZK opcodes? Well, you even know what that means? Probably not. We understand that means smart contract, but maybe they don't. So they're trying to find a way to minimize the need for extensive Casper-specific knowledge and intermediaries, so making it more beginner-friendly. While the network boasts fast transaction confirmations, the key challenge has been curating accurate and relevant information. The current approach of relying on community and figures for information has created the communication barriers and made it difficult for developers to find reliable guidance. So it's all to be talking about, if you look at Casper's page right now, you know, a lot of the information coming from Casper's actual Twitter page has come from a lot of technical talk or even a blend of accurate and inaccurate information. So some Polinsky's whole thread post here is a massive article ultimately talks about potential ideas of what could be done, you know, about, you know, look, running a Casper node is too hidden and complicated to find the correct one. The website should have a front and center big red button saying run a Casper node, new 10 Mbps. This is a very real situation and something that, again, should be addressed. The fact that there's so many very prevalent and intricate parts of Casper that's very important, key parts of the network of what it is that can't be easily accessible without understanding more about Casper is a problem. It's got to be more beginner friendly. So ultimately, they are trying to find a way to, while still remaining decentralized, they've got to still make sure that the Casper page is still decentralized, which is a big problem as well. That's also touched on a bit here from Luke. What Luke ultimately talks about is here from Polinsky as well. And the tail of what Luke said here as well is so he talked about how, you know, Luke was added to the Telegram group by Polinsky to talk about the concerns that Polinsky had about the Casper Twitter page. Luke hasn't been really involved for quite some time, or not been super involved in the group. But when he looked at the page, he realized that Polinsky had a point, because a lot of the posts made by Casper have been featuring kind of the key members, being the likes of Luke or, you know, Christian Ludwig. Again, many other names in there, but it's been hard. It normally, or even Chad, like it. Again, it's basically made Casper's Twitter page unintentionally made Casper look like they've got leading figures. They don't. They have more influential figures: Luke, Chad, Christian Ludwig, all those people there. But it's made it look like they're actually the key figures, and they're not. And he said it made him very uncomfortable as well about this. You know, I wasn't very comfortable with this either. So, you know, they're basically trying to find a way to steer the conversation back to trying to release Casper information, not very technical either, beginner-friendly information that lets you understand what Casper's about while remaining decentralized. So that's ultimately the goal right now, what they're talking about here, which, you know, me and Cody were joking about it in the Discord server, saying it's quite a Polinsky thing to say. Trying to find a way to make Casper so inclusive while still, you know, being beginner friendly, and that's effectively what Bitcoin is as well in that regard. not hard to understand what Bitcoin is. Casper is no different, just a little bit more intricate because it actually had the medium exchange value. But yeah, it is. Yeah, while I express strong objections to the way Chad has handled the socials, I feel comfortable reflecting that in many other respects, I genuinely look up to him. He has always kept the conversation civil and respectful, and as a person of faith, I admire his devotion, unwavering conviction, and passionate. And so while I stand opposed to the meshing of personality and brand, I believe many intangible positives have come from this synthesis. You know, it's where I stand as well. I think we're going to see another... This is going to be very big for Casper, actually. Because Casper's biggest shortcoming has always been its marketing. It's always been the marketing. We've always established that it's been its marketing been very, very bad. This is not necessarily marketing in its sense, but it's going to bring more beginner-friendly understanding to Casper, and again, hopefully a more decentralized element as well. That could be very helpful and beneficial as well. So it could be a big thing to get again, because the biggest problem right now is people who find out about Casper, you come to me. I mean, by all means, please come to me. If you've got me, Casper Silver, you got other Casper, you got Casper Cat Daddy, you got many other Casper content creators and Twitter social accounts that are actively posting about Casper, Casper Enthusiast, Sats, Captain Sats, many, many more. And, you know, and they're great for what they do. They're great. But, you know, at the same time, for coming to us should be getting kind of the more, I guess, influencer side, but also a bit more nitty-gritty elements of what's coming out. And the Casper should just be the surface level of easy access. That's how it should be. And then we all contribute to making the community better and the project better. So this could be a good change to seeing the marketing improve, and that could also help, therefore, in getting Casper more recognition and adoption this cycle as well, and therefore a higher price. So, you know, optimistic for me, again, it's a good thing that Tom Plinsky even addressed about this. We'll see hopefully that shift very soon as well. Funny coincidence how Casper's upcoming bullish release, it like crescendo lines up with Fed meeting and potentially QE timing. Coincidence? Potentially is a coincidence, yeah. Again, with the dollar index, you know, being so far down right now, I doubt we'll see QE just yet. Rate cuts, or at least we don't need to see rate cuts just yet because the dollar's down so much. Because other countries have been able to print money anyways, so we've got stimulus around the world. But I think you'll see it very, very soon with negative GDP in the first quarter. You might see, you know, the Fed start printing money on rate cuts if the inflation is still manageable, and that again could coincide to seeing more bullish momentum. The M2, of course, going up higher as well, which is reassuring. We can see, therefore, Casper start pushing higher heights going into end of May, into June, going into July as well. So there's maybe a quick coincidence, no doubt. I want to talk about worrying. Try sending nearly 4K in Bitcoin directly to us and waiting for an hour for the confirmation screen. Oh, I could not even imagine. I could not even imagine. And again, that L-Bank beats it in that regard, but I mean, you know, yeah, that's ultimately why there's a necessity. I mean, if you're doing wire transfers with Swift, it can take days. So it goes from days to hours with Bitcoin to then half an hour of L-Bank. And then, of course, on Casper's native platform, it takes literally half a second. So, you know, the streamlining of payments is a very, very big factor. And Casper, I think, doing that, I want to say better than everybody else. But yeah, I mean... waiting half an hour, because I remember doing it back in the day when I remember, you know, as I always do a test transaction, sending my Casper from L-Bank to my Casper wallet, and I'm there like, oh gosh, I've done a test transaction. They've literally just done like 11 Casper, because of course it's a 10 Casper fee, so I'm only getting one Casper, but I'm just going to wait. And I'm waiting. It's been half an hour, and I'm like, I'm not getting any confirmation or anything like that. I'm waiting for ages what's happening. And I'm like, okay, I need to do the research now. And then I was like, okay, I'm just stressed out. I'm going to go get something to eat. Came back. I was like, oh, wait, it's actually sent through now. So I knew it worked, but it took half an hour. And I was like, that's ridiculous. Because I'm used to, even though I've used you know, transactions from like Binance to you know, Mexi wallets back and forth like that through exchanges. And that's taken like 5 minutes, 10 minutes max. Half an hour for me was crazy. But that's why I don't use L-Bank as much anymore. Very, very rarely. From Casper's release to Casper starting the 10 to 20 cents sideways range for 73 weeks, and we have been in the 10 to 20 cents range sideways range for 72 weeks now. Maybe Casper follows 72-week long cycle. I mean, that would be something. Of course, that would be insane. We have to wait and see. Again, it's too early to call that right now. I think market structure in TA has some structure to it, but it's going to be very, very broken very soon with institutional adoption coming through. It's going to break the structure completely. They're going to flood their trillions of dollars of capital into crypto very quickly, and we're going to be in a kind of confusion of what's happening right now. But all roads do seem to lead to Casper. I agree with that much, definitely. With that being said, that's going to be it for today's daily Casper and crypto live stream. I will be going live earlier than usual tomorrow, so stay tuned to the Discord announcement channel and you'll find out when I'm going live. If you enjoyed, as always, leave a like, share, subscribe for more. If you want to know more about crypto and Casper and other stuff, check out the free public Discord. Equally, more in-depth insight like the institutional alpha document we had here, and a lot more in the VIP group, alongside much more in there as well. Link below in the description, homepage as well. Have a great day, good evening, and good night, everybody, and I will see you all in the next one.